Good morning, everybody. I hope I'm audible to everyone. We are starting with the next unit, that is MSME, the fourth unit in Management and Entrepreneurship. Basically, before going to MSME, we need to check some other things, that is business environment in India. When we say business environment, first we need to understand what is business environment. The things, any company, assume a company A has some setup in some industrial area. Apart from that industrial area, things that are under control in within that company, apart from that, all the factors that affect the company is termed as business environment. Example, let's say that there is an industry in Belgaum, Udyambag, located in Mache, in some location, right, specific location. Apart from that location, within that area where that industry is situated, the owner of the company has complete control over that area, industry area, wherever it is located. Apart from that, the area that falls outside industry, it can be in Belgaum, it can be in Mache, it can be in Karnataka, it can be in India, it can be in the whole world. So everything that is going to affect that company directly or indirectly, that environment or those factors are called as business environment, right? So once we understand what is this business environment, we need to check how many types of business environment are there, or what are those factors that are directly going to affect the business environment. It can be broadly classified as, first one would be economic factors. This can be the first one. Second one would be social factors. Third one would be political factors. Excuse me. So first one economic, then social, then political, and then technological factors. Apart from this, we can include one more factor, which can be environmental. Environmental factor. But we can closely relate environmental factors to social factors because both of them can go hand in hand. If the environment is getting affected, the social life of the people also get affected. So just to understand what are these factors with some small simple examples, we can first take out the economical factor. As an example, let's say few years ago, the VAT system was into picture in India, right? Recently, maybe two years down, what happened is the government changed the policy and said henceforth GST would be implemented in India. So there was a drastic change in taxation system. Because of this, what happened? Many of the industries, not many, almost all the industries need to switch over from VAT system to GST system. This certainly took certain time to them, but it was implemented. But during this transition phase, everyone faced some problems, and this also impacted the business, right? So this is economical factor in broad classification. The next one is social factor. Social factor involves, example is, if an industry is located in Belgaum, what are the trends, what is the social life, what are the quality standard of life in Belgaum, or if the same industry branch is situated in Bangalore, then what is the trend, social life, quality of life, standard of living in Bangalore. Those things also come into picture. Example, small example can be taken in transportation. If an industry is located in Belgaum, transportation is much easier when you compare it to Bangalore. Although also the salary part, also the quality of life and living of life, right? All those things affect in this social factor. Then the next one is political factors. Political factors depends on the government, right? If an industry is located in Karnataka, what are the policies put forward by Karnataka government for that industry? If the same is located in Maharashtra or any other state, Tamil Nadu or Andhra Pradesh, each of those governments have different policy. Apart from that, we also need to consider central government policies towards the industries, right? If you go in broader sense, then if the company is exporting products or importing some of the resources or materials, then we need to think about the policies, external import and export policies of present mother country and also to the country which we are exporting. So all those factors come into picture. Government change from time to time, right? Once in every 5 years, or if there is some other crisis, much sooner. So the next government who is coming in, how will be their approach toward the company? What will be the new policies that they are going to set? Are they going to only modify the existing policies, or they are going to bring in the new policies? All these things need to be checked. So that comes in as political factors. And the next part is technological factors. Obviously, few years ago, maybe a decade or two, lathe was very common. People used to manufacture their components using lathe machines, right? I mean the conventional lathe. But nowadays, as the time is changing, automation is into picture. Everyone is talking about CNCs. Recently, they have also started talking about automation in form of human-less manufacturing, computer controlled, all those things. Even robots coming into picture now. Flexible manufacturing systems, pick and place robots, many of those things. So if these technological changes are not included in the business, it will affect. Example, you have conventional lathe in your industry, also your competitor. But your competitor comes to know that if instead of using 5 conventional lathe, if we use 2 of those as CNC and 3 conventional, his production time would reduce by more than 50%. If that's the thing, and he is going for that, he brings in his new CNC machines and start production, both of you have the same products, then obviously it will hamper your products because he is going to manufacture much number of products than what you are doing, and also quality wise, because CNC is computer controlled, more accuracy than manually operated machines. So this will surely affect your business. So you also need to update from time to time. If this doesn't happen, then you're lagging behind, your products will not go ahead, you will not sell your products, you will be in loss. So that's technological factor. And the last one, which I said environmental, this is directly related to social factors. As an example, if there is a chemical plant in some area, the fumes or the outlet from the chimneys need to be controlled, or rather than saying they need to be purified, or they need to be reduced in their toxicity, or they also need to check the height of the chimney. They should be lower so that the gases that are coming out of the chemical factory is not let into environment at a much shorter height. Also the waste that is coming out of the chemical factory, disposal of that has to be taken care. This is all environmental factor. If this is not followed according to the rules or policy, surely the life or the environment in that city will be affected, also the social health, life of the people in terms of health. So all these things have to be considered. This classification is the broader one, that is, first one was economical, second one was social, third one is political, fourth one is technological, and also environment. This is in form of broader classification. Now why is this? We will again go ahead further and check some of the factors in detail later on, but before that, why is this important? Why this understanding the business environment is important? So again, let me repeat, what is business environment? As an example, let me take one more example. Suppose I am in this classroom, right? In this class, I am the owner now. So I can control things in this classroom. But what about the things outside the classroom? I cannot control each and every student outside the classroom. I cannot control the staff members. I cannot control the institute. I cannot control things that are happening on the roads. I cannot control things that are happening in Belgium city or anywhere else. So all those environment is going to affect this classroom. How? As an example, students are coming to this class at 9 o'clock, let's say, but there is traffic jam. So he's late. I cannot control that. So then what am I supposed to do? If I don't have the knowledge that for a 9 o'clock class, there will be traffic jam, there is a possibility that the gates will be closed because of train arrival or departure, and I'm not taking that into consideration for the students. So the moment students come at 9:05 or 9:10, I lock the door and not allow them in. But that's not going to work. But that's the factor which is not under our control. But if I have the knowledge of that, I can compensate. I can ask students that I'll allow you up to 9:05 or 9:10. Please see that next time you be within that time. So some compensation or some rules can be made flexible to allow such things which are not under your control. Right? Also, very simple example. Whenever we are engaging classes, many times there will be disturbances from the outside. Like there might be some students walking in and making some announcement, or some non-teaching staff bringing in notice, or I might be called by HOD or someone else for some information, or some students may need to go out. If I don't consider these factors also, then I'll not be able to engage the class smoothly. Each and every time this happens, maybe I'll get irritated and start yelling at you. But that's not the thing. I already have the knowledge of this. So I need to compensate for that. Or I need to adjust or plan my classes with all these factors into account. With these small examples, we can understand what is the importance of these business environment. With this small example, we can correlate. Suppose I already know that the government that has come in now is thinking about redefining MSME or redefining policies, import-export policies towards other countries. Suppose you are importing something from country, the taxation part, the subsidy part, they are going to revise it. If you already know it, then you will plan accordingly and make necessary changes in your approach to improve your business. Right? That's not the only factor. Suppose you are setting up a branch of your own industry in some other city, you need to think about the salary structure. You need to think about from where the people are going to travel from point A to your industry. Is the transportation okay, or you need to provide transportation? Or what should be the minimum wages that you're going to pay to the people who are going to work over there? All those things need to be understood. Also the technological changes, similarly the economical and the environmental. Economical in the sense, where is your industry located? How far is it from the resource that you're going to get into your industry, or how far is it from the customers? Is it okay that you spend extra money to put your products into the market, dispose or sell your products into the market, or the market is very close, you need to make some arrangements, or there's a shift in the customer saying that he himself has shifted his location from point A to point B, and you need to incur more expense to send your products to point B instead of point A. Now, all those things have to be considered. So why is it important? In a sum or in a gist, it is important because if you have the knowledge of all these things, it will keep you updated and ready for the things or the factors that are not under your control. Keep you ready for those things so that you can make necessary changes in your own business, so that you don't lag behind. You can progress taking all these considerations. So some of the features, if you see of this business environment, it is dynamic. It goes on changing from time to time. You cannot say that the technology of CNC is today and it will be the same after a few months or few years. It may be something else. You cannot say that I used to pay 10,000 rupees as a salary for a guy in 2019. So I'll continue the same salary for the next 3 years, saying that there will be no inflation rate and all those things. You cannot even say that. You cannot even say that the political influence or the political factor, government policies is going to remain same throughout the year or throughout the decade, right? So it keeps you alert. It keeps you alert. It helps you to make certain decisions with respect to the dynamic changes that is going to happen, right? Then also these factors are interdependent. You cannot say that only political factor is going to affect me or only the environmental or the social is going to affect. If political factors are changing, the social, environment, everything will change accordingly. It may affect you directly or indirectly, but it will. Right? So, some of the features of this business environment are: it is direct, it is related, it is interdependent, and it also helps you to keep yourself to the modern times, to keep up yourself to the modern times. So, these are some of the features. Right? Then, we have already discussed what is business environment. We have already discussed what is different factors that are affecting, broadly classified. We have also discussed what is the importance of it, and we have also discussed some features of it. Right? After this, we need to understand some more factors, which Prashant sir is seated with me here. He'll be giving me the hints one by one, and I'll be explaining that. Sir, first point, please. Okay, so when we talk about business environment, the first factors itself, right? First feature of business environment is coexistence of private and public sector. Public sector in the sense government part. We already know that, let it be any country, private and public sector do exist hand in hand. One cannot run only the government sectors and one cannot run only the private sectors. They have to go hand in hand, and there is a competition. And rules in government sector, rules in private sector will be different. I am talking with respect to that individual industry. It will be different. Selection procedure will be different. Outcome will be different. Output will be different. So they have to exist hand in hand. Your customer may be a government sector, right? But you are a private sector industry. Or your customer may be a private sector and you are a government sector industry. It can be anything. So you need to compensate, or you need to be alert with respect to this environment, because it's dynamic. Right? You may have different customers in different sectors, but this is one of the features of business environment, is that you cannot have only one type of sector, either government or public. That's the first feature. Right? So next one, please. Low income level. Business environment feature, low income level. It depends on the type of industry, what will be your income. Right? We cannot say that everyone will be paid so much of income. There is a possibility that in business environment, depending on the type of work and type of sales and you might have low income also. Right? Next one, please, sir. Poor rate of capital formation. Means what? Capital that is acquired, it's poor. It's not that everyone is rich and everyone can invest more. Some of them can and some of them cannot. So per capita that we are talking about, it will go low. Depends on people. Right? The next one, please. Low level technology. Feature. Everyone cannot get updated with high level of technology. Why? Cost, expense. Buying a lathe will cost you a few lakhs, but buying a CNC will cost you much more than that one. So may or may not be everyone will be able to afford that. So low level of technology. That's one more feature. Everyone cannot go for higher level of technology. Right? We can, one can talk about this in many ways, not only this example of a CNC or a lathe, but even in form of some other example of technological changes, like there are still some industries who are using drafting procedure by hand because they are not in a position to afford AutoCAD or any other software. Or some of the industries still do the analysis by hand calculations because they are not in a condition to pay and buy softwares like ANSYS or anything. Even those technological changes also need to be considered. Or they are not even in a condition to hire someone to go for analysis in a much more accurate way. That's also maybe the problem. So low technological levels. Next one, please, sir. Underutilization of capacity. Why is this underutilization? Improper planning, right? Structuring. Underutilization, you have a capacity of producing n number of goods, but you are able to only produce lesser number of goods. That's also one of the features of business environment. Why? Why is this happening? Because many of the factors are affecting you. We can say broadly these factors itself, they are affecting you. So maybe you are not able to produce a number of goods. Like if you are let's take an example of a chemical industry. In a chemical industry, suppose you are producing some chemical like polypropylene or ethanol or any of those things. You have a capacity of producing around 10,000 liters per month, but the government norm says that you are not allowed to produce more than 6,000 liters per month. Underutilization of capacity. Why? Because government policy is there. And why that government policy has come into picture? Because of environmental factors. So the main factor affecting you is environment, and to take care of that, government has implemented a policy restricting the chemical factory in producing so many number of liters per month, but you have a capacity of producing more. That's underutilization of capacity then. Again, whatever features we are discussing here, that is coming into picture because these are the factors that are going to affect them. Next one, please, sir. Lack of diversification. What do you mean by diversification? Spreading over. You are not in a position to spread out. You are restricted to certain area. Your products are restricted to certain area. Maybe you're not if you are a small scale industry, you are selling your products to some XYZ customer and you are satisfied with that, or maybe you're not able to expand it to many other customers. You're not able to tap them. Many other regions, maybe the products that you have, they are not of superior quality, and the customers that you have, they are satisfied with your quality, but some other customers require much more superior quality in the products. So if you want to tap them, then you'll have to go for technological change. And if you want to go for technological change, you don't have enough capital or funds with you. Economic factor. So all these factors are coming into picture again. Right? Next one, please, sir. Financial market. Financial market. What do you mean by financial market? Sir, can you read some part in that one, please? Financial market. Correct. Correct. Now, what do you mean by financial market? Cash, inflow and outgo. Suppose you want to apply for a loan in a bank so as to expand your industry or a product. Will that be done smoothly? You require a lot of time for that. It cannot happen that today you have applied for the loan in the bank and within a week or two you are getting it and you are going with the expansion plan. It requires a lot of time. Why is this happening? Because our financial market is not developed, fully developed or fully equipped. We still have the old ways of analyzing things. We still have the old ways of taking things into consideration and boosting it, rather than saying this is going to this is advantageous to the society, so just let's go for it. No easy flow, basically, right? Financial market is underdeveloped in the sense we don't have well-equipped market, which well-equipped market usually help you to take faster decisions. If it's underdeveloped, then decision will be slow, inflow will be slow, interrupted, maybe because of different reasons. So that's about financial market. Next one, please, sir. Industrial disputes. There are many disputes occurring within industry, either norms with competitors or area, government policies. There are many things, the issues that are faced by industry. Also, slow reforms in, sir, slow reforms in? Yeah, slow pace of labor reforms. Minimum wages, rules for EL, earn leave, casual leave, number of working hours, and worker safety. industry environment, right? All those things, the laws that needs to be reformed are not updated time to time and regularly. The pace is much slower. Industry disputes that are there, those are also resolved at a much slower rate. Disputes can be with respect to the maybe a chemical factory which is producing more than required, so there is a case on it, and that case goes on for 10 years. And by that time the case is resolved, the company is making huge loss because there is a court order that he is not supposed to manufacture so much so much liters of chemicals per month. Right? There is a government, court order. So to resolve this dispute, it takes more than 5 years or 10 years, and by that time it's all done. The business guy is also tired of it and he just quits maybe. Or he shifts his location from that to some other part, thereby incurring extra cost and slowing down the progress. So that's industrial dispute and slow pace of reforms. Next one please, sir. Government interference. Every now and then new rules change. Every now and then something else coming up. Taxation change, documentation change, IT returns filling method change, right? If you are applying loan, the norms change, rules change, regulations change, transportation rules change, disposal rules, recycling rules, all those things keep on changing now and then. Government keeps on interfering to improve, but that will not help all the time to an industry, because sometimes it pulls down the industry from its capacity. It doesn't allow it to do. But I don't mean it has to go for full capacity, but progress will be what do you say? Progress will be hindered or it will be pulled down. Right? Government interference. And apart from this, there may be government interference in an unofficial way also. Suppose the MLA or the MP is in demand that you need to bribe him so as to get some of his loan sanctioned, or some of the orders being government orders. This government interference usually happen if you are applying tender for a government call, right? To get that tender and go for the job to be done, you need to wait a lot. Government tender doesn't happen that the ad has come in the newspaper today, last date is next week, and after next week, within 1 week, they are going to announce who has got the tender. That will take a lot of time. And in that time, many things are settled down, bribed over there. So who knows? Government interferences, unofficial interferences will also affect the performance. So that's also another feature of business environment. This also you need to take care about. Right, sir. Next one, please. Sorry? Extent of market. Small scale industry or medium scale industry in Karnataka, in Belgaum is supplying product up to Maharashtra or Andhra Pradesh. What about if there is a customer who is in Delhi? Also a competitor who is in Delhi. Will you be able to tap that customer? Though your competitor is located close to him, right? Are you able to expand your market? Right? Extent of market. It's not that everyone can reach every corner of the world, right? But can you tap in customers from different locations? Can you expand your market? That's the point. Next one, please, sir. Transportation bottleneck. As of now, if I say Belgaum, it is in a good location because Bangalore, okay, Bombay, and even Goa are closer to each other. Transportation is good. But what if I go to some other place, like maybe Solapur or Bijapur, and if the customer is in Goa, transportation is difficult because there is no direct train from Bijapur to Goa, or transportation has to be rerouted through different locations. Bottleneck of transportation, how government is supporting transportation policy, or how that industry itself is taking care of its own transportation. Whether it is planning in such a way that it is going to reduce the cost, or it is trying to overcome the bottleneck. That means quick transportation. Basically, when we talk about bottleneck, it is quick and easy transportation without damage. Whether it is able to do this with the help of the government or without the help of the government, depending on the location. If it is able to do this, then fine. If it's not able to do this, It needs to change its approach so that it will be solved. Right? Next one, please, sir. Ready flow. Ready. Okay. Flow of foreign investment. See, a few years ago, let me talk about a decade or something, or even more than that, foreign investment was not directly allowed. People didn't invest in Indian companies. Right? If people from outside are investing in Indian companies, that means more flow or more cash flow is going to come into India or in that company. That company can progress better. Right? That flow, foreign investment, is there but not in all companies. Nowadays the rules has changed. Foreign investment is coming, but still it is coming only in some of the companies, not major of the companies. So someone who is expecting some foreign investment into his company has to struggle a lot to get one, because he need to stick to their norms, their standards, and adjust. Right? You have a standard saying that the heat treatment is of this much level, and the surface finish is this, and the casting quality is this much. But the same may not be the expected level of standard of a company which is outside India. They might have their own standards. So if they want to invest into your company, they'll certainly check the quality and the standard that you are maintaining. Is it okay? Is it okay with respect to their norms? Or you have the capacity of setting the standard or the quality up to their norms? If yes, then they'll be interested. They'll also check your history also. Right? So that's a trading investment, foreign investment. Next one, please, sir. Disturb law and order conditions. That's a critical one. That's what I said. Industry dispute. If there is a case on a chemical factory saying that he is producing 10,000 liters of some chemical per month, but the limit put by government is so much, and he has already exceeded the limit. So there is a case on him now in the court. Right? The court has the case has already run for a year or two, and then the judge changes. There is a transfer of the judge. Then the new judge comes in, then everything has to be reviewed again, because the current judge doesn't know what has happened earlier. Right? The laws change. Amendments come into picture. The lawyers, the way they deal, sometimes they may pull the case for more number of time. Disturb law and orders. It's not happening smoothly. You need to go to court many times to resolve this issue that I'm talking. Maybe it's a serious one, but there are some simple rules, like you have violated or you have acquired extra land in your industry, and which belongs to neighboring industry. So there's a case going on it. This simple issue could be resolved in few days or few months, but because the case is in court, it's being pulled up to 4 or 5 years. Unnecessary dispute. Right? So resolving, because of the laws and the reforms that are there in the country, this can take longer time and therefore affect your business. Next one, please, sir. Okay. So until now, whatever we have discussed is business environment in India. In this, what we have seen, what is business environment? And in a gist, it is nothing but the environment outside your industry which is not under your control, but those things certainly affect your business. And that business environment is broadly classified as the one that's written on the board: economic, social, political, technological, and environment. They affect directly or indirectly. We have also discussed what are the importance of it. We have also discussed what are the features or how do they help you. They have also discussed in specific what are some of the features of this business environment. Right? So the next part that comes into picture is MSME. So what is this MSME? MSME is micro, small, medium enterprises. Micro, small, medium enterprises. Remember, in a country, the industries that exist, all of them will not be large scale. Right? So if we take India, basically majority of the industries or the setups or the workshops or whatever business you talk about, Let that be a business be a core mechanical one, IT, or even weaving or embroidery, or even your agriculture or whatever you say. Major contributors are MSME, which is micro, small, medium enterprises. These are the major contributors. Minor are the large scale. Remember, even if you go to a large scale company like maybe Tata Motors, if we take even that as a company, as a large scale company, let's assume it's a large scale company, right? Tata Motors, if we take, all the goods, that is all the materials or the components that are required by Tata Motors to manufacture a car will not be produced in Tata Motors. Obviously, they will be having sub-vendors or subcontractors, and the sub-vendors and subcontractors are again either belonging to either of these categories, micro, small and medium enterprises. So for even a large enterprise to run, it does require support of MSMEs. Right? So let me not put it in percentage, you can read it from the books, but major contributor for a progress of a country is MSME. Right? So now, what is this MSME? What is the role or what is the advantage of this MSME? See, one cannot set up a large scale industry in each and every part of the country, but MSME will be there spread out in many of the areas. An MSME can be in a village, it can be in a town, it can be in a big city, metropolitan, or even it can be in a small city. But large scale industry can be only in, depending on the location. It cannot be in a village. But if there is possibility, it can, but most of the times the large scale industries are in metropolitan cities where many facilities are there. Right? So the advantages of having MSMEs, it is widespread. It can be located anywhere. We can have weavers in Belgium, in a village located nearby Belgium, or even in towns. We can have agricultural suppliers, I mean chemical suppliers to agriculture anywhere else. Right? So these are the major contributors and it is widespread. Then the next part is, we need to understand is, how do you divide this MSME? If you want to divide this MSME, it can be broadly divided as manufacturing, and second one is service. MSME is broadly classified in two categories, that is manufacturing and service. See, until 2006, by the Act of 2006, Indian Act 2006, these two classifications were already there. But even in these two classifications, how do you guess which is a micro, or how do you understand which is a micro, small and medium enterprises? By Indian Act of 2006, it was said that with respect to manufacturing, it was only decided based on amount of money invested. Like example, if a manufacturing firm has invested less than, or its capital is less than 25 lakhs, it is termed as micro. If the investment goes more than 25 lakhs and less than 5 crores, then it becomes small scale. If it goes then 5 crore up to 10 crore, it becomes medium enterprise. This is for manufacturing sector. And the same goes to service. In service, if it is less than 10 lakhs, it's micro. If it is from 10 lakhs to, if I remember it correctly, if it is from 10 lakhs to 2 crores, then it is small scale. And 2 to 5 crores, it is medium. If I remember it correctly, you can check it in your books, please. It's medium. Obviously, for service industry, the investment capital is lesser than the manufacturing because it's just service. It's not going to manufacture, it is going to provide service like hotels maybe, or after product services like repairs or replacements or transportation or courier, all those things. These are services. Much investment is not counted in it. This was the act which classified over here. But then recently in maybe 2019, new reforms have come and they have reclassified this MSME not based on invested amount but on turnover, right? But on turnover. That you can check it. It's not like 25 lakhs. Maybe for like micro, if the turnover is less than 2 crores, it is something. If I remember it correctly, if the turnover is less than 2 crores, it is called as micro. If the turnover is greater than 2 crores and up to maybe 100 or 100 crores, I suppose, then it's a small scale. And if the turnover is greater than 100 and up to 250 crores or something, or 2 crores to 50 crores is medium, and 50 crores to 250 is 2 crores to 50 crores it's small, and 50 crores to 250 crores it's medium. It's redefined. You can check it out. But the new norms say that the classification is not based on investment, but it is based on turnover. Again, this classification is in India, but if you go to classification in European market or some other market, they don't just classify based on investment or turnover, right? They classify it based on many other factors, like first one is investment, second one is turnover, size of the industry, number of people working in it, the balance sheet that they are producing. All these factors are considered. So this classification or division of MSME or categorization of MSME depends on the country. In India, it's based on investment recently. According to in India, it's based on turnover according to recent norms, but according to 2006, it was based on investment. And if you go outside India, it depends on the country rules, right? So that's micro, small, medium enterprises. Just a minute, please. Sir, time is time. What's the time, please? 15 minutes. Okay, fine. Right? So this is micro, small, medium enterprises. When you classify this, the next thing that we need to check over here is, how is this helpful for growth? Right? See, in micro, small, medium enterprises, may or may not be, the workers who are working, may or may not be everyone is educated and highly skilled. But if you go to large scale industries, they always require highly skilled and highly qualified people over there. That means people who are little less skilled or little less qualified or not qualified do not have a chance to work. But that is provided by this MSME. It's a widespread, because it's widespread. It's there in every part of the country. Right? So that's one advantage of having MSME, which are the major contributors. If you check some data online, you will find that maybe in 2018 or 19, 28% of India's contribution was done by MSMEs. 28 or 30%. You can just check this fact. They are the major contributors. Right? So the next part that we are going to cover in this is role of micro, small, medium enterprises. Sir, can you tell me the first one, please? Role of. Right. The first thing is role of MSME. It contributes 45% of manufacturing output. When we say 45%, you may just say, how is it possible? Tata Motors is giving, Tata Motors, Eicher Motors, or Nestle India, or even any companies that you take, they are the major contributors. Yes, they are selling the end product with the brand name as Nestle or Britannia or Tata Motors or anything. But the manufacturing is not entirely done by them. It is through these MSMEs. So whatever major manufacturing is there, 45% it is done by these MSMEs in terms of manufacturing, and 40 in terms of service. Right? Tata Motors, if you buy a Tata car, doesn't mean every time that you, for a service, you run to Tata Industry. You go to a service center, authorized service center, or the local service guys over there. Right? So they are also contributing. This is one simple example you can take. How is MSME contributing? A guy who is owning a garage in a street and he is providing service to different bikes or cars. Right? The industry is not looking into that. So also it's a micro organization, because his investment will be, his turnover will be less than 25 lakhs or maybe less than 50 lakhs per annum, right? So that's a micro organization. They are also contributing. Like this, many people do contribute. Even service in form of hotels, or in form of theaters, or in service in form of entertainment, service in form of after sales repairs, anything. All these are contributing majority, right? That was the first one. Second one, please, sir. Provides largest share of employment after agriculture. Agriculture is contributing how much? Around 65 to 70% of India's this. After that, it's MSME. Agricultural products, everyone knows what are this: rice, brine, and wheat, jawar, barley, vegetables, fruits, whatever you say. Agriculture sector is producing them. But what after production? You need someone to buy from them, sell it to the customers, transportation, everything. Even that part, and also the industry part. Only manufacturing is one work, but after that, seeing that the product is reached to the customer is another task, right? So after agricultural contribution, major is by MSME, and then comes the large scale industries. That's the second role. Third one, please. Economic independence, right? MSME has economic independence. How do you say this? It's not dependent on any other company. A small garage on a street, it's independent. It only depends on the customer. It is not depending on any other supporting industry or any other things on that. It's independent. He is independently working, right? The advantage of this is, when we say economic independence, is he or she can earn his own bread in his own way. He has the freedom. It's his own setup. He can progress in any way he wants. He has independence. It's his own investment, either through bank loan or anything, but his own. It's not depending on any other feature, right? I think we will stop over here. We'll continue with this discussion in the next class. So what time is it? 5 minutes. So last 5 minutes are remaining. So I think we will stop here, and next class will be engaged. So I think we'll stop here. We'll continue in the next class. Thank you. Stay safe.